Vivek sir, should we start?
Yeah, let's kick it off.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you, sir, for uh, accepting our invite. We are here, and we are very happy that you could uh, take some time out from your busy schedule to share your knowledge. How was today, sir? Did you trade today? There were three expiries.
Yeah, today was, first of all, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. So yes, I mean nowadays I think there is probably a app that can be made to believe me, it's pretty crazy because day before yesterday, one student was like, "Sir, today's Bank Nifty expired." Like, are you
Right.
sure? And that's only because the last couple of weeks back I was caught on that side. So
Right.
yeah, it's yeah, but I think it's a good downtrend as
Hmm.
of now. At least it looks like on Bank Nifty kind of today, at least, and there's a follow through from couple of days though.
Couple of days, yeah. From that high that it made, I think a week back, it
Hmm.
has falling, especially that big fall on what was it, Tuesday,
Right.
and I don't think it has consolidated completely to make a reversal, but and I don't even know if it has the fall has stopped or
Yeah,
reduced. What are your views?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, one clear, I mean, the factor is the sheer weight of HDFC in the Bank
Hmm.
Nifty right now, especially after the merger. So,
Right.
I was just seeing some of the breadth indicators actually just before talking.
Right.
As we've been talking over the last couple of days and all,
Right.
building up a little bit. And as of now, there is definitely no sign of a quick reversal.
Hmm.
Anything can happen,
Right.
but probably some consolidation to more. We can see some more downside
Okay.
because not just on breadth, multitude of factors. I think even the cumulative OI built up recently
Hmm.
on that down move. When you were saying that down move happened,
Yes.
it was followed by a large COI built up. I mean, so somebody big in positions has taken shorts. Now, whether they've unwound, whether they will unwind, we'll see the data a day
Hmm.
or two. But does as of now, the looks sideways to bearish only as of now.
Yeah.
Unless data.
Plus a very interesting thing that has happened this month is there is another Bank Nifty expiry on the 31st, right before the budget, which is also a very peculiar thing.
Yeah, so this is obviously run up to the main election of May.
Right.
The months before that,
Uh,
usually we've seen historically build up starts, and then this is always going to be volatile at least
all
till
right.
some time. Yeah, yeah.
So we'll get into the meat of the conversation, which includes this part. But before we do, I would one thing I wanted to know is more about you and you as a trader and your history. So when did Vivek Gadodia start trading? What was his educational background? What did that help in any way, sort of form? And yeah, just tell us a bit about your history as a trader, especially those early days.
Yeah, so actually, I started, as far as I remember, buying some stocks in 2002, 3 type. I think Bank of Maharashtra was the IP. I used to work in a software company. I had
Right.
no idea, other than, like my grandfather used to do some
Uh,
investing, etc., and ask me to find the prices in the Economic Times when I was a child.
got
But basically, वो लोगों ने फ्रेंड्स ने बोला ये आई थिंक 22-23 रुपए का था समथिंग एंड दे आर
uh,
लाइक 100 रुपया हो जाएगा राइट एंड आई वाज लाइक
चार
अरे
गुना हो जाएगा लगभग।
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ,
हाँ।
मतलब so I was like ठीक है आई put some money luckily got some अभी जैसा नहीं है और शेयर कुछ लग गया and it actually I think I was sold at 35 or 40 rupees
हाँ,
but which is good enough for me and but it actually did go up to 97 in 2007 right in after 4 years.
after 4 years.
Okay. See,
Great.
and then though I was just trading long stocks. Then in 2007, 8, I got into FNO.
Hmm.
Like everyone, I think not everyone, but most people, I would say, burnt my hands in the FNO. And
The 2008 was like the worst year to get into FNO, I would say.
yeah, yeah. And in hindsight, if you think about it, it was also good to
Yeah.
learn early, realize that game is not as easy as it looks.
Yes.
I had friends far more better educated than me, and one friend in particular was a state topper, and your close friends used to talk. He's
Uh,
like, जब चल रहा था तो I made so much money more than my salary. I was like, I thought I was the
going
king
to
of the
full-time
market.
trader.
And in the crash, though, he's like, yeah, this was 2.5 times of what I made. I lost, right? And I gave up.
Uh,
And then I realized this is not for me. That's what we were saying. He said, I think I'm suited for something else,
hmm.
right? But that realization itself is I think, very important. So,
Correct, correct. And there was this experience of 2000 and so pre 2008 and then during 2008, and then what made you stick on to FNO and then eventually reach Algos?
I think I landed upon a book called Market Wizards by Jack Schwager. If
Okay.
if you not read it, I would definitely recommend reading it. So
Yeah.
it's just interviews with America. Have you read it?
No, I
Or,
haven't. But I would just like to say that Vivek sir has recommended a lot of books to me. I'm in the process of reading them. He's a ferocious reader. He's and he reads a lot of these books. You can always, reach out to him and ask for recommendations. I think whatever recommendations, if he gives us a consolidated list, we can even post it on Twitter. And if he does it, we'll retweet it. But that is one thing I would say about sir, that he loves to read, and he probably has read so many books on the market. Great thing.
yeah, luckily, so I mean that book had a lot of pro traders, and one interview in particular was Ed Sikota, who's a systematic trader.
Yes,
So
yes.
he had an engineering background with a MBA,
Hmm.
and he started building these early systems by based on moving average Donchian channel. Donchian channel is nothing but taking highest high and lowest low of a
Right.
certain period, right? And if and tested those. I was luckily to get so I had a commerce background actually though, but then I did an MBA in systems, and I worked as a software engineer for 2 years
Hmm.
with CMC Limited. So CMC was ex IBM in India, which
Okay.
was then acquired by TCS. So I
Hmm.
worked on some building coding, and I had no idea about technicals.
Hmm.
But then I got in touch with one CMT, the chartered market technician,
Yes. Yes.
who kind of gave the technical. He had technical ideas. I did a little bit of the programming,
Hmm.
and we saw that in over a 2 3 year period, when we took the data, we saw the algos, the strategies actually have a win rate of 40% though. Win rate, like, so it was just winning lesser than the number of times it's losing.
Yeah.
Right? But the reward risk ratio or the average payoff
Hmm.
ratio was turning out to be 2.2, 2.3 is to 1. This was on stocks.
So
And which, yeah.
yeah, expected value was much higher.
Absolutely, absolutely. The expected value, which you have I think, explained it in a simple way on AlgoTest,
Yeah.
is it's simple way like when Kohli comes out to bat, what do we expect, right? मतलब अगर उसका 150 मैच में average 43 है, we can expect not that he'll make 43 in every match,
Uh,
but if he plays 100 matches, given nothing changes as much what is happening, first we can expect he'll average around 43. So.
Correct.
So that was good. And then we started. Luckily, it was pre-election, a little bit of pre-election 2013-14. There was a good trend, and these systems did well. And that's where the journey started.
That was the journey with algos. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Yes. So for the first time, over a period of time, we saw that money not only after being made is even retained.
Hmm.
Whereas pre-algo world, it was like us making, losing, kind of not doing great consistently, right? Like probably breaking even at best. A little bit of luck.
तो वही 100 रुपए बनाया, 200 हारे, फिर 300 बनाया, फिर 100 हारे, somewhere that was the path
Yeah,
earlier.
there was no method to the madness, if I may say,
Hmm.
and that's why the algo systematic trading world helped to bring some system into place. Right.
Got it. Got it. So these early systems were on stocks, or were you doing options back then as well?
So this was on stocks,
Hmm.
stock futures, and currency futures. So I was trading USD INR,
Yeah.
UD INR, JPY INR, and all actively at that time.
So this was a positional thing कि intraday?
Started with intraday in the stock, but then realized very early that the costs and the slippage
Yes.
for that model was not working. So then shifted to positional, and then largely it was positional.
तो positional that must be risky यार with especially the elections and different shocks in the system and you carrying futures. जैसे अभी मतलब हाल ही में देखूं तो जी का याद आता है कि
Hmm.
जिसने लॉन्ग फ्यूचर लेके बैठा हुआ है वो तो मर जाएगा विदाउट एनी हेज. तो
Yeah, so in hindsight, I would say, I mean, based on the leverage we were taking at that point, it
हाँ
was as a total almost 5x, 6x. मतलब in simple words,
हाँ
अगर 10 लाख रुपए का अकाउंट था,
हाँ.
तो हम 50, 60 lakh, 70 lakh worth notional value.
नोशनल वैल्यू करेक्ट.
Because currencies में ठीक है, फिर भी currencies में leverages are generally little higher. Still, stock futures leveraging was about 3, 4. Currencies was 10. So
यस.
average portfolio leverage was about 6. You can say 5.5, 6, which today sounds crazy to me. I mean, but I think we were little lucky that market was also in a great trend that point, and especially run up to the election was just crazy. And then in August 2013, this was before election, there was a 18-19% fall in Nifty in 1 month. And the USD INR went up about 10-15%, I
Yes,
think,
I remember that. Yes,
then Raghuram Rajan came in. And
yes,
so
yes.
that
The US
one,
dollar spiked that time.
yes.
And within days, like every day, it was moving a rupee. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And so, whilst there was risk, I think luckily because we were making more return than the risk, at
Hmm.
least 2.5 times more on
Hmm.
average, the clients were sticking on.
Hmm.
Anyways, then though we post election,
Hmm.
after a couple of months, market went through a big consolidation, and that's where the strategies went into a
Hmm.
bigger down than what we had ever seen, right?
Got
And
it.
that's where even we realized the risk, and we realized while we were disciplined, the
Hmm.
good part was that market was really supporting what we were doing,
Hmm.
right? Had it been the just we had started a little late, we could have seen a bit more of risk. So then journey into options started somehow.
Right, right. So, what was your look back period or the back test period with those stock futures when you started the algo journey there?
Uh, so like you mean the window or the length of the
Yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah. So it was very short term, with about two. I mean, depend. It's relative to like किसी के लिए ये ज़्यादा long भी हो सकता है short, but it was
हाँ.
approx 2 days.
नहीं नहीं,
Kind
वो तो होल्डिंग पीरियड हो गया
of.
ना. आई एम आस्किंग
The
टेस्ट how long was the back test period for
Oh,
those top
so the duration of the back test. Yeah,
yes.
so we tested from February 2009 to
Hmm.
December 12. So roughly close to 2.5, 3 years. That is the maximum data we could get, the intraday data for stocks.
Got it. And then after elections, the market regime essentially changed, and the data could not be new data points came into the picture, and the previous data was not valid for the current strategy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like you say, so it was a regime change,
Hmm.
and Like before election, everything was running up, but
Hmm.
post election, you know, many of them corrected,
Sam-
and some of them, yeah.
So now you started options. I'm guessing with monthly options you started.
Yeah, started with monthlies, built some models around that time on the monthlies.
Uh,
Uh, couldn't get much success, honestly, at that time, trying to find
hmm.
some patterns in that. But I think then still we were building, researching, and continuing to trade the stock.
Hmm.
The game changer, I think, came in 2020. Which was where I think I was a little late in that, but I think it took little time to build the database
Hmm.
of options. We made like mistakes in building that. It took a far long time than what we thought
Hmm.
it would. I'm sure you know what I mean,
Yeah.
because
I know the backtest engine, the backtesting, the getting the data, backtesting it, then formally making the strategy and deploying it. So, am I right?
yeah, I mean, just the data part first itself, the database itself, the errors made on that to correct it, get it ready took some time, and then the other engine and all followed. So I think a lot of time we miss estimate the effort to be spent on data collection and
Hmm.
cleanliness. तो वो सब सीखा थोड़ा बहुत कि भाई it's far more difficult than we think. But then I think the good thing was the margining new margin norms which came in April 20 sorry August 2020,
Hmm.
where the margin reduction came in,
Right.
right? That's where
With the hedges, yes,
with
yes.
hedges, with hedges. So like the iron condor was the strategy with probably one of the most reduction in benefit, which
Yes.
I mean almost 75%, if I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, and which in other words was like also to say it is one of those relatively
Hmm.
safest strategies you can say from there.
So these were on the weeklies or the monthlies?
So then by then we built it on the weeklies. Yes. So here's what I think was the missing piece which we are getting in the monthlies earlier was only buying type which we are trying, but with the weeklies what we could do is do with buying. I'm sure you know that the theta decay part is the biggest factor for the buyer which goes against.
Right.
And if your
The
model,
direction. You
sorry.
need the direction and the momentum to.
Exactly, exactly. So if your timing, I mean direction to chahiye, hi, but why options is relatively toughest to trade compared to
Yes.
others because we need a timing also right.
Correct.
And somehow in the monthly it was not fitting with the basically the duration of the model, the holding periods.
Hmm.
But I think in the weeklies some strategies fitted,
Hmm.
and we could do selling and buying both
Right.
basically.
Right. So I'm guessing by 2016 you were a full-time trader. You'd left the profession or the career you were pursuing earlier. Is that correct?
Yeah, so from actually even before that, because I started more as a developer consultant
Hmm.
to build algos, customize
Right.
algo trading solutions. I still do that selectively,
Right.
and but then largely most active in trading the futures, like you said, the long stock.
So uh, essentially, you're saying that you did have a backup. That you like not.
Definitely, I would say
Uh-huh.
support from
Why I'm asking this question is because a lot of people, who'd be listening, they'll be asking, "Oh, okay, I found a strategy. Now I should quit my job and start trading." So that's not the case. He did have a backup. He was doing his consulting work. Vivek sir was doing it, and along with that, his interest pushed him towards trading, which was going simultaneously.
yeah, yeah,
Is right,
absolutely.
right.
And,
Please go ahead, sir.
no, you were saying something. Yeah,
Okay.
please go.
So RBT, when does that come into the picture?
Yeah, that was started about 2012 or 12, 13 or yeah, that's where I
Achha,
started doing the software consulting and
hmm.
building these systems.
That was okay. So that was with the stock futures, and in
Absolutely, absolutely.
you were fully into option selling with some buying strategies as well on weeklies.
Yeah, so that is 2020,
Hmm.
and where we conceptualized one strategy called Kinetic,
Yes.
actually named
Yeah.
it, which is a mixture of selling and buying.
Hmm.
So it would kind of adapt and try to which now is the reversal, buy on reversal, something similar. Maybe
Huh.
I think that time there were others also doing similar thing,
Right.
but I think yeah, we only probably got to know about it a little later after
Huh.
AlgoTest actually came in.
Uh,
A lot of the, I think, something which I mean, we were just talking yesterday, what took us months can now be done in minutes.
yeah.
So,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, if I want to delve more into kinetic, like what was the strategy about? If so, there is a range breakout or some sort of a breakout, and you go contrarian.
no, so this was purely time based.
Acha.
However, not 920, but
Yeah.
sometime there was a time factor. And over a period of time, we experimented different times. Like, so the interesting thing, Chintan, is
Hmm.
like a strategy which is good is we don't know the shelf life.
Of course.
And it just may work for a period and not work for a period and then probably again start. I mean, when the regime is favorable, it won't work.
Right.
Very simple things, very simple strategies also. So this was time based, and there was some factor of volatility in it.
Mm-hmm.
That basically is the volatility uh, realized volatility higher than the implied. So
Right. Yes.
basically, then
Volatility risk premium is what you were harvesting essentially.
sort of. And then there was a contrarian trigger that if the opportunity regime is more suited to buying and there is momentum,
Hmm.
basically your stop gets hit. In other words, of the condor, that
Hmm.
would not typically happen very easily earlier, at least. Now
Hmm.
it is pretty common knowledge. So, but still some elements of that I think do work.
Do work. So essentially, that uh, you see some momentum in the market. So okay, was this intraday or positional? First of all, I
This
like.
was so that's where interestingly I think the portfolio was made in a way where
Hmm.
there is positional as well as intraday,
Hmm.
and again between that we found some correlations,
Of course.
like non-correlations or negative correlation you can say rather, where it's like simple words. If you have a team with only Virat Kohli's,
Yes.
it's going to be the worst team, although
हाँ
he's the best player. Because जब वो नहीं चल रहा है तो वो नहीं चलेगा.
हाँ उस
So
नहीं चलेगा.
हाँ हाँ, so पूरा टीम जाएगा. So but more yeah, you can say equally weighted towards positional and intraday.
अच्छा. So got it. So whenever you see there's a momentum in the market, say upside, you reverse after a certain stop loss, you reverse your position and go contrarian. Uh, some sort of those elements, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, your journey from 2020, which was the massive COVID year, and I would like to know your views on that as a trader who was actually trading with algos during that time. In terms of, were the APIs blocked? Were the brokers blocked? Were the margins super high? When there was extreme volatility with VIX going all the way till 80. What was it like actually trading in 2020 using APIs, broker APIs?
So the stock future systems were reasonably good, I think, because even from our see, this depends not just only on the it's a whole network which starts right from your application to the even the internet you're using to the lease line to the right to the exchange.
Yeah.
Thankfully, nowadays we have cloud servers, and also a lot
Right.
of that part is gone away with.
Mm.
But the future system which we had built and tested was still relatively quite robust. So that was fairly smooth,
Mm.
apart from those days where there were, lower circuits and
Exactly.
the extreme volatility. Luckily, I think we while we were shifting the physical office to home based in the
Yes.
last week of March, we
Yes.
had actually paused that system only,
I-
everything. We just paused the trading for
Right.
2 weeks. Luckily, it doesn't happen always. It turned out to be good for us, but usually when you intervene a system, it's not. It's usually not doesn't work in your favor over a period of time. That did. And but options, it was still relatively new, so it took about a month and a half to stabilize
Right.
just some issues and all. And then from June, July onwards, it was reasonably okay, I
Okay.
think.
So there was no. What I mean to ask was, were the broker APIs up? Were they responsive? Were there errors? Just because of just extreme volatility, extreme order flows, extreme level of exits and entries, uh, because of the crazy volatility.
So I think the number of brokers giving API at that time was much lower than the number giving broker API giving now,
Right.
significantly lower. So whoever was there were time to time issues, so it can never be error free.
True.
So my previous job before starting this, I was handling trading technology for a bunch of high frequency traders,
Right.
now known as upstocks, obviously known upstocks.
Okay.
So they were RKC, they were high HFT traders. They still probably right.
Acha,
So
so Upstock's background is HFT trading, and now they
yeah,
are in retail broking.
absolutely, absolutely. I was on the other side. Actually, I was with Philip Capital from
Right.
there, which is MS Global. I was helping them to set up and grow their business here.
Right.
And from that, I can tell you it cannot be error free. Trading technology
Exactly.
is just, it's so complex, it can never be error free.
Hmm.
All you can say is you want to minimize or avoid, and once in a while, you're going to get that critical error also.
Hmm.
Or that bad error, right? But just something you have to account for in your model in a way, or be ready. Uh,
Right.
Now, I think of late, the seeing the whilst more brokers, uh, Chintan, you've been in this journey over the last 2 3 years, at least, I
Yeah.
guess. You're just seeing the exponential rise of open interest in options. Okay, I mean
Yes.
there is interest from not people who are never interested in India options in terms of very large institutions, etc.
Right.
You also know about it now and are
Right.
getting to know about it.
Right.
So the load, I think, on the system as a whole is significantly more.
Right.
And although, but you know more about, I think.
It is. We can we summarize, and we. The other thing is, as you mentioned correctly earlier, only a few brokers used to give the API, so they had that infrastructure set up. Now everyone is giving, which some brokers might not have the infrastructure set up right now, or they might be just ramping it up, but their demand might be greater than whatever they are trying to do. So. Just because of the interest in options. Uh, so the thing is, they might see this. The brokers might be trying their best, but it might not be.
It, let,
That's
let's say it is far better than having a API for option than not having a API.
of course.
Because, because it's one of the resorts for a retail trader to actually get some level playing field with the institution by getting their order directly punched and not having a human placing it.
Correct.
But yes, I mean it will come with its share of ups and downs.
एग्जैक्टली नहीं वो द होल वो सिस्टम कि पहले मैं ऑर्डर लगाऊं फिर उसका एसएल लगाऊं पहले कॉल लगाऊं पुट लगाऊं फिर उनके एसएल लगाऊं और अगर ट्रेल हो रहा है वो ट्रेल तो हो ही नहीं सकता मतलब उस बेसिस पे मतलब मॉडिफिकेशन के बेसिस इट्स या Like without an API, I don't think you are anywhere close to a
Yeah.
level.
Without an API, I think intraday trading in options today, if you're doing in a very short term, is literally very tough. I mean, unless
Yeah.
if you're doing multiple strategies and like doing
मैं
like
तो
you
बोल रहा हूँ कि एक स्ट्रैडल में टीएसएल ही लगा दो, वो ही कोई मैनुअली कर ले, तो मतलब मैं आई बी लाइक यार बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है.
yes, yes,
आई एम नॉट इवन सेइंग कि टेक मल्टीपल एंट्रीज ड्यूरिंग द डे. मैं वो भी नहीं कह रहा, मैं कह रहा हूँ मॉर्निंग की कोई, इफ यू जस्ट मैनेज इट and with the features, say you want a recost, तो पहले वो ऐसे लगेगा, then you'll go place another one, you what the cost price was, then you're going to place it, there's manual errors, there are so many like ifs and buts that can happen. That is, it's, I feel it's completely impossible.
yeah. There is probably suited move for like the obviously the prop traders and all who are like full time with obviously good infrastructure, good support,
Hmm.
managing it, trading it, and but otherwise it's virtual, very tough. There are
Right.
few if you're doing it like you said, yeah, it's great job.
They are, but they have those because I've worked back in the day as an intern uh, with one of these brokers, and they had guys who were geared for that job. They could punch orders fast. That was their
Yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah.
They have that infrastructure already there. कि ये, इतने पे इतने का लगा, इतने पे इतने का लगा, एंड दे वर ऑल सेट, हीट के टर्मिनल पे बैठे रहते थे, और मतलब they were on point. Uh, but not everyone can have such an physical infrastructure with people actually punching. That is uh, that is true. That is true. So now I want to bring it a bit closer. So to 2023, COVID got over. Uh, like the market and the economy stabilized. um, the VIX dropped from I think an average of 20 during those last 2 years, 3 years actually, 2020, 21, 22, to below 15. So what happened? What stopped working? And more importantly, what was working? Just wanted to
Yeah.
on that.
So I think 21 till mid 21 the strategy did very well.
Hmm.
What we are running at least, and uh, then it went through a drawdown higher than little normal, but still far lower than
Yeah.
the drawdown of the stock future days, which I've seen. But I think yes, obviously large number of players, not just retail, but some large institutions, some market making firms came in, and probably they were like there is a excess supply of selling options and all maybe, so that caused I think some of the strategies to just uh, break down. I would say break down means totally like not work, like the drawdown going 3-4x of
Hmm.
historically tested drawdowns. And that's why I think continuously, you all have been doing so many talks on, I think, बैक टेस्ट में जो दिखता है और रियल में जो होता है वो फोटोग्राफ्स डिफरेंट
Exactly.
होते
Backtest is one path. It is one.
हैं.
Reality could have many paths.
Yeah, like if we take last 1 year data and we just test a mid cap long only system, it will show like हर साल मिड कैप में 100% बनता है टाइप, बट that is far from truth, because if we take 7, 8, 6, 7, 5, 6 years of data, we'll see it goes through a lot of journey. Same way, I think though what some of the things did start working is the reversals way of buying when we were buying options, and there is momentum. So I think some of those strategies are working, but they come with a share of little higher drawdown. Typically, the buying strategies. So having a balanced portfolio of selling and buying
Hmm.
strategies as a whole, I think would help to not go wrong drastically.
Hmm.
So
Control the drawdown.
absolutely, absolutely, you are still in a place where okay, you probably missed something big, but you are floating around and you tweak and then you're there to buy. Another thing I think Chintan has happened is the zero DT. After that,
Yeah.
yeah. So
September 0 DT, September 2023, the NSE and the BSE changed the game altogether from one day a week, Thursday expiry. It goes to everyday expiry.
yeah, and that is also probably changed. Not probably, it has changed the microstructure definitely.
Hmm.
And some people are now trading only zero DTs
Yes,
also.
right.
So
So what are your views? Should people trade only zero DTEs, or should they diversify and do DT one and DT like all sorts of days essentially? Like
see, like some of the things which I'm testing on simulating and running like forward test. So forward test is where after the back test you run it without tweaking the rules, like just to see the. I think even like you're saying one DT type works in some strategies, some instruments, it's working better. So I think one and zero both are good. If you are happy with only zero, because yes, then you don't have that. As long as you squaring off by end of day, you don't have that overnight hang. It's
hmm,
okay. But if you can do a back, a portfolio one zero also, it could help.
true,
However, very trader specific. So I think to that extent, you have to also see what suits you, what suits your psyche.
correct. Correct. So you're saying DT zero is good and DT one is good. So see, the other thing that I've noticed in 2023, especially like earlier in 2022, even if you did a DT three or a four with the Bank Nifty, because you were trading, I think, Bank Nifty and Nifty every day, a combination of that, uh, even on a Friday, and then all the days, including the Thursday. Fin Nifty had started, but we were um, uh, it didn't pick up till October 22 when they introduced the 50, the middle strike.
Right.
So what I'm asking is, the systems were working, the strategies were working, but now if I do a back test on say DT6, which was the earlier Friday, and DT 4 and 3, uh, not 4, actually 3 to 1, they're not even close to as profitable.
Yeah, yeah. So with zero DT, I think there is a significant shift that has happened.
Hmm.
And I mean, how are we probably concluding that, or at least think about it, is just the way how some of the strategies which were working have absolutely are absolutely not working. Something has changed.
Right. So
And yeah, and also I think the speed at which changes have come have been very.
true, true, true. Like there's one notification and things either go ahead or go are reversed in just a lot to absorb for the market.
Yeah,
In
I,
short,
I'm sure the nightmare. I mean, I recently read when this sudden Saturday special session was.
oh yes, yes.
You guys had to kind of
We were up till 4:30 in the morning.
exactly just making it ready to
Yes,
make sure that the trading happens next day. It's and it's like it's a critical thing. So
it is. People's money is on the line, so it is definitely critical. There were issues with some of the brokers. They also had some issues, I think. Well, I won't name them, but big brokers as well. But you can expect that.
yeah, it's
It's
it's like there are so many moving parts to it actually that you don't know where the issues can happen.
correct. So 2023 is essentially changed the microstructure. Uh, it's changed the intraday game. You're not getting those profits that you used to make, even if it was a DT6 or a 3 or a 2. And what about weekly and monthly positionals? what is your view on that? Like selling, like again, selling a iron condor beginning of the month, or selling a iron condor beginning of the week, uh, depending on which instrument obviously you select. Uh, what is your view on that?
So weeklies is what I test on work. That still works on the. I'm sure the monthlies also might be working,
Hmm.
but I'm not yet like have to again go back to that actually. It's like coming from monthly to weekly to again
Right.
going back and adding some of those. But
uh,
I do know some large traders
uh,
take who trade on the monthly, like have a longer view. Like
uh,
they take large positions in these in the monthlies, especially also around the big rounds. Big rounds are like the
big round.
500 multiples in Bank Nifty or even 1000 multiple now you can say.
हाँ,
Nifty, it would be 500 का multiples.
समझ गया, तो
Those,
अगर 45,000 पे है, so they'll, if you want to make a strangle, तो वो 44 और 46 बेच देंगे, और फिर उसके आगे के
yeah.
they'll
So
buy.
this is something shared. I mean, I was talking to one trader, and there are many traders who know far more than what we think and are far
Hmm.
more profitable, but they are very silent. So one such guy was like just saying, you should just, if you just want to get an overall view of the market, just track the large, the OI shifts in these big round numbers. So there, see, it's all, I mean, at every frame, everything is probably working for some of the people who have that horizon.
Correct.
I mean, so you have to choose, we have to choose what you want to play on and then.
Hmm. So intraday is DT1 and 0. That is still working along with buying. Yeah, you mentioned a lot about buying. So if you can elaborate what kind of a strategy on buying would be is still working or was working earlier as well, and is still interesting at the moment.
So couple of things in this is some momentum based technical systems on
Hmm.
index futures,
Hmm.
which I mean you basically can translate into like लॉन्ग सिग्नल आया फ्यूचर में तो तुम लॉन्ग कॉल या वन आईटीएम कॉल ले लो
ठीक
टाइप
है.
एंड व्हेन यू गेट अ एग्जिट इन द फ्यूचर you
हाँ.
exit. Like this is the part of the linking trading view to
Yeah,
an
you can do
option
that on
strategy.
AlgoTest. Yeah,
Correct,
yeah, yeah.
you can do like similar. So some of those strategies, like the one out of those, I had like two strategies,
Hmm.
right? Out of which one is doing quite good compared to 22, 21. One is not doing so great. It's okay.
Got it.
So, and I'm sure, I think from the traders who are trading momentum, like this year, although the IV went very low,
Hmm.
and probably only the HF, some of the very large HFT trading firms are killing it in that space. We
Right.
read in the
We
media.
heard a lot about them.
Now हमारा स्टॉप कट रहा है ना, like शायद कम. But apart from that, I think some of the momentum strategies are back right now as of now in the last few years. The stock future momentum, index momentum.
अभी तो मैं कहूंगा, आई थिंक एज यू मेंशन्ड अर्लियर इन हियर, कि अगर एचडीएफसी में ही मोमेंटम आ जाए तो बैंक निफ्टी और फिन निफ्टी
हाँ,
खरीद.
मतलब अब HD, yeah, this is another dynamic, and it's huge for a bank nifty, right? Like HDFC, ICICI combined weight now is 60 odd percent, I think, if I'm not
करेक्ट.
mistaken.
तो और फिन निफ्टी में कितना है उसका?
पता देखा नहीं मैंने फिर निफ्टी में, बट आई
राइट.
थिंक 40-45 तो होगा ये दोनों का कॉम्बो.
हेवीली स्क्यूड.
Heavily weighted. Yes, definitely.
Correct. And so, like moving on in 2024, अभी तो एक महीना ही हुआ है, एक मंथली एक्सपायरी आज हो गई है, although there's a weekly one on the 31st. So, uh, you've seen budgets, you've seen general elections, at least you said you started in 2003, so it's been, oh, if I calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, this will be your fifth.
Yeah, four. I was still like, I mean,
Uh,
still to that extent learning every day, but
right.
that was very new. मतलब I
Uh,
just know कुछ वो post facto ki Vajpayee Sarkar had
Follow.
withdrawn whatever support was withdrawn and it hit a lower circuit. मेरे को उस समय उसका
Lower.
impact इतना पता नहीं. I was very very new and I think just trading very minuscule stock.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
But 9 was something where I think it was we know it hit a upper circuit.
First time. First time
First
ever.
time,
I think that
probably never the index and
upper circuit has been hit.
irrespective of Congress coming, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because
Right.
uh, probably we had fallen a lot in the 2008 and there was overall I remember the report that time going around in our broking firm was ki third front आएगा.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
market
third.
based on you
Correct.
remember that to the
Yeah.
and Congress came with a clear majority, so which was far unexpected of the popular opinion, and
Hmm.
probably price had fallen too much already. Damage
Hmm.
was done, so market just reacted with a massive upper
Correct.
circuit.
Correct. So yeah, so now 2024 general election coming, and uh, before that the budget is coming. So like, how do you see do you see these as opportunities, or do you see these कि यार इससे दूर रहो, अभी capital preserve करो?
So it again is dependent on your strategies. Like if your strategies are around playing basically both harvesting volatility and you're playing long only side also along with as a budget combo, right, in a
हाँ.
portfolio, it's very difficult to stay away unless there is a critical event. Like I think this budget is usually not as important as the main budget which will come in June or July, right?
June July, correct, correct. हाँ.
So, so anyways, pre-event, if you want to be or really conservative, you could not trade that one day. That is absolutely there. कुछ दुनिया बदल नहीं जाती है. आप
हम्म.
एक दिन नहीं trade करोगे तो, right?
हम्म.
But if it is part of your model and you have that risk management in place in
हम्म.
your basket, you trade it, continue it, and follow it as per the risk plan.
हम्म. Correct.
But I just think overnight and in the very short term, weeklies and all, generally, I think strategies with hedges give me more comfort than just naked selling. So,
Definitely.
so if you have that, then you are sort of okay.
हम्म.
But yeah, that's my view.
So you reduce your capital, or you can, if your model.
If you feel uneasy before sleeping, do reduce your capital. I
हाँ,
mean, simple metric.
simple matter.
फिर नींद नहीं आई तो
हाँ,
पोजीशन बड़ा है. Then
वो
not.
वो घटाओ या बढ़ाओ, अगर नींद नहीं आ रही तो मतलब the sleep metric is I guess the best metric to assess your risk tolerance essentially.
And it's different for each one of us. I think how
हाँ,
many people in this room, सबका stomach lining अलग ही है.
correct. Correct, correct. And but what about the mega event of general elections? उसमें मतलब क्या करके रखना चाहिए? There is, like, the wall is going to increase. We know that. Should we go long on the options that are available right now to trade, or like talking about very long options?
So,
Or
so, so yeah, so that I mean, just as part of if you believe you have an indicator to see the, I think Chandan, the main thing is having an exit rule also in place. Like, suppose you go long, right?
हाँ,
But market falls much before enough to damage
ठीक.
your long holding, and then it goes up. Would you
But
hold?
मान लो एक आपने लॉन्ग स्ट्रैडल ले लिया 50,000 का.
Hmm.
हाँ, तो now just building up the scenario, फिर क्या करना है?
Yeah, I'm actually not that. I mean, don't do the long straddles part and all mostly, so I'm not equipped to, I think, talk on that much. But I would basically talk about like general directional longs and all.
Right,
But if you're doing, yeah, you believe wall is going to rise. I mean, whatever you're doing, you have some rule also where you think that trade is not working against you, or you get out, or you put as much money which you think you can afford to lose, and you're like, "जो होएगा देखा जाएगा" types, which is
correct,
not in the long run, I think, a great thing. But if you feel that way, yes, I mean, and yeah, that's what my view is.
got it. And you again, I guess the question remains: do you trade during the results or during the exit polls and all that whole week of madness of the general elections, और कि छुट्टी लो, अपना वोट दो, छुट्टी लो और एक मतलब वो हफ्ता छोड़ दो.
You see, so for a professional trader, I think they will be, the market is there because everyone is there. It's like the opportunities are also in these volatilities in a way.
Correct.
So you have to assess that one thing is there, that it is going to be, it may be more volatile than what we have seen, because
Hmm.
each election is not exactly the same also.
Hmm.
Like 14 was where first time we came, that run up was massive, just like what we are seeing something now. We saw very similar built up from September 2013.
अच्छा.
After the rupee thing happened, the
Yes.
it was started sinking in that the candidate was announced, and market started probably responding to it positively, and
Factoring,
lot of stocks went. Yeah,
yeah, factoring in that information. And
September 13 से फरवरी तक सुपर था.
hmm,
जैन सीजनली भी थोड़ा वीक होता है. It
correct.
is that we are seeing that can be, there will be volatility for sure. So it's about what you are running, what is the risk it
Hmm,
entails. If you understand that,
hmm.
and then tune your size according to the risk which you are comfortable to pay. So it's something where, and we'll see some things which we don't know. Every
Of
time there'll be
course,
something.
there is definitely going to be some new data points.
Yes, yes, and we don't know how some other event which we probably can't see now may come up. Then
Yeah.
obviously, but as of now, like you said,
Uh,
generally there's a run up. In the run up, the wall builds over a period of time,
hmm.
and then
Then
post
what?
event it crashes or
It
something.
crashes it, but you need to be in the right position.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
वरना वो उल्टा भी घूम सकता है आप पे.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Got it, got it. So, Vivek sir, I would like to take some questions now from some of the people. We're receiving some questions here, and so yes, some of them is very generic. Like, what is ये HFT क्या होता है?
Okay, so HFT is like for F1 racing. F1 racing में it's very high speed, right? So they use a Ferrari to race there. अपना normal गाड़ी नहीं चलेगा.
हाँ.
So HFT is so fast, like in a day. For to give you an example, way back in 2008-9, we used to do in that HFT trading 250,000 orders in a day.
Oh wow.
50,000 orders जिसमें कुछ 60,000 ट्रेड्स होते थे. सो द ट्रेड ऑर्डर टू ट्रेड रेशियो वाज अबाउट 1/4.
IOC orders होंगे, I'm guessing.
आईओसीज थे काफी. यस,
हाँ.
आईओसीज
तो
ही थे.
हाँ, 2.5 लाख IOC थे जिसमें से 60,000 ट्रेड हो जाते थे.
या सो आईओसी व्हाट चिंता है डिस्कसिंग इज इमीडिएट और कैंसिल. जैसे ऑर्डर गया, अगर वो ट्रेड फिल हुआ तो ट्रेड होगा, नहीं तो कैंसिल हो जाएगा.
Hmm.
सो दैट्स एचएफटी. वेरी हाई स्पीड, रिलायंट ऑन very high quality infrastructure networks, and it's a different game altogether.
Got it. Got it. So, yeah, kangaroo trading, you can ask your question here. You can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Everyone else who wants to ask a question to Vivek sir can request me and I'll enable that. Kangaroo trading? Oh, so, okay, so we have received, sir, some questions on the chat as well. So, Amit Goyal says HDFC Bank is in Nifty is 23%, and post event if you get a gamma move, book it, else exit. Gamma scalp the long straddle to reduce basis. I think he's talking about if you are if you go long on the straddle for the general elections, what to do. If Amit can come on
Yeah.
online and yeah, or Vivek sir can explain what
No, he's
exactly he's saying.
a fantastic trader, and I think you should just have him on this. He's the pro.
So I'll invite him to speak on this because I think it looks pretty interesting. I've invited him. Let's see if he accepts the invitation. Uh, Other than that, whoever wants to ask a question to Vivek sir, he's here. Please request, and I'll give you the permission. Kangaroo trading, you need to unmute yourself to ask the question. You're already a speaker now. To speak. Whereas I'll look at questions. Show more replies. Yes, AVS. AVS, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah. Uh, AVS, you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, please ask your question.
Yeah, I want to ask to Mr. Vivek. I just wanted to know that how do we use I, IV percentile and IV range to identify stock in trend trading in options?
Yeah, so in the way I use it is if I am basically I use the long options on a system of technicals. So there I typically trade every signal irrespective of the IVP. But just from what I know is if you are typically having a very high IVP or IVR, let's say above 80, 70, it means the option is more expensive compared to its in its not more, yeah, more expensive. And in its last, whatever 250 days, if you're seeing the IVP, it is in the higher range of that IVs it has had. So it probably is, I mean, like if you buy a high IVP option and the actual movement is even on expected lines or little below, the volatility will crush sharply and it will fall. So long options there has a much higher risk because the ones selling those options are the one who are trying to actually earn from the crush of the volatility post if the event doesn't happen as expected. So
Thank you.
yeah, I hope that answers.
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Nick, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Vivek.
Hi.
Actually, I wanted a career suggestion from you. See, the thing is that I've been a directional trader, but I haven't been using my money lately. Okay. So I currently have a strategy. I think that I've got to a point that I can claim that I have an edge right now. And the thing is that I don't want to reveal my edge, but it is working. I mean, since a few months, I've been using it and it's working. So, what do you think that I should be working with a HFT firm or should I be doing it on my own?
No, it comes with its own share of good and bad in my experience. So if you are working for somebody, obviously you get a chance to work somewhere and build a track record.
See, I
Great.
just wanted to say
More.
one thing that
Mhm.
you know the kind of thing that I'm doing right now. I know exactly where the market is going to go. Okay, and in that manner, I use around 50 to 60% capital, and like I mean, I haven't seen it failing right now yet in the last few months.
See, whatever it is you're
Mhm.
doing, I mean, if you have a substantial history, at least a few months
Mhm.
to a year of your back, whatever you're tested with live trading,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
are you able to stick to the system? Is the part where you'll see it's like everyone who gets the same rule of algo in this room, suppose we are all given the same
Mhm.
room rules, right? And we are all everyone's performance will be different after a few trades.
Mhm.
and that's where the psychology and emotional aspect comes in. So you'll have if you can able to actually see build trade in line with your system and see the results and build that's going to be a
Yeah,
big thing.
like today, it was an expiry for Nifty, and
Hmm.
I achieved around 288.8% today. Okay, so I mean, similarly in every expiry in the last few months of Nifty, I've been using this strategy and it's working. So I just wanted to know that in case I work with an HFT firm in the future, and if I work in the trading floor, would they be able to know my strategy, or should I be independently working with them?
See, the thing is, the order flow is never hidden. Whatever you're doing, the orders are seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So strategy is one part, but there are a lot of other parts to the trading
Okay.
success. So psychology, how you build your position size, how you increase or reduce your
Mm-hmm.
size, how you're able to stick to your plan. There are lots of factors that go in with it. Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Okay. Best of
Thank
luck.
you.
Yep. Best of luck, Nick. Sounds pretty
Thank you.
interesting. Vivek sir, Amit ji has answered the question on IVP as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's saying a higher IVP means higher time value in the premium. Obviously, I would say historic compared to the history of the option, and it would be better to sell them and or do credit spreads.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So he's the guy from whom I've learned IVP. So that. Okay.
coming from the source. Okay, Sagar, you may unmute yourself and ask your question. I think he's just connecting. Whoever else wants to ask a question can request it. We have Vivek sir for a few more minutes. I think he's not able to connect, but yeah, interesting, sir. Do you do still do or think of what are your opinions on stock options?
So stock options have become fairly liquid, some stocks at least, from what I know. And some there are large opportunities in some of those which are
Got
big.
it.
But again, you need to have a model, have
Uh,
a plan, and it obviously carries that individual stock specific risk, which is far more than what a index does. So
Definitely.
requires much more precision and expertise.
For sure. Upper circuit, you can go next. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah,
Yeah, hello. Is it okay if I ask in Hindi?
बिल्कुल
हाँ हाँ
बिल्कुल
प्लीज सर बिल्कुल.
बढ़ेगा actually
अच्छा,
बढ़ेगा.
मैंने पूछना था कि जैसे मैं पहले एपीआई से कुछ कनेक्ट कर रहा था अपना कॉपी ट्रेडिंग वगैरह, तो हर रोज मेरे को सुबह उसका की डालना पड़ता था और उसको कनेक्ट करना पड़ता था टिल द एंड ऑफ द डे. ऐसा कोई सिस्टम अवेलेबल है कि अभी मैं एपीआई के साथ अपना कनेक्ट करूंगा और वो ऑलमोस्ट मतलब 1 मंथ 2 मंथ एनी अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम तक वो कनेक्टेड रहे और उस तरह से चलता रहे अपने आप ऑटोमेशन पे, जिसमें बार बार नहीं एडजस्ट करना पड़े मेरे को?
सर पहली चीज तो मैं बोलूंगा आई थिंक कॉपी ट्रेडिंग एंड विवेक सर कैन concur to it कि is not in the legal frame in India at least. So we
नो,
can't
दैट आई अंडरस्टैंड, पर
so
वो
we
मेरा
can't
सिर्फ
discuss that on the spaces, you
वो
know.
वो
So
मैंने वो उसके ऊपर नहीं था मेरा सवाल में, मतलब वो तो सिर्फ एग्जांपल था कि
हाँ
मतलब कि वो मेरे को मतलब कि वो कनेक्ट एपीआई को एल्गो के मतलब जैसे एपीआई से कनेक्ट करना पड़ता है, तो वो मॉर्निंग में करना पड़ता था रोज हर रोज.
मॉर्निंग का सर मैंडेट तो सेबी की तरफ से है. मॉर्निंग में आपको लॉग इन करना पड़ेगा.
करना पड़ेगा हर बार
हाँ
ना?
जी वो सेबी की तरफ से मैंडेट है.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
ठीक है. हाँ थैंक यू.
And just to add disclaimer that this is for educational purpose and
यस
none is investment. I'm not a registered investment advisor.
correct. We are just discussing the market here and we are not involved. So kangaroo trading, you requested again. Do you want to ask your questions? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sir.
Hi. I have a question related to the 2023 market. Compare with the 2017 and 18 market.
Okay.
On the time, the market was so mild that I think the premiums are high comparatively. While backtesting and AlgoTest, the data shows that if we, let's say, short the ATM straddle, stop loss of a simple 30%, it will give a high profit with low drawdown. But same thing not working in 2023 market. I think it's due to low premiums and huge moves comparatively 17 and 18. But why I'm comparatively between 17 and 18 is it's more related to the VIX. It's 17 and 18 and 23 was between average 12 or 13 VIX. That's why I'm comparing that. Yeah. Is it good to do that things strategy low premium time? Is it taking risk to reward? I think it's poor. Or any other way to handle this 2023 market?
Do you mean 24 now coming up or 23? I'm not very clear I got your question.
So I think this is what I got. Sorry, sir. I'll just maybe rephrase it. So proxy for 2023, he's trying to take from the years 2018 and 2019, where the VIX was also lower.
Yeah.
So
17 and 18, not
17,
19.
my bad. 17 and 18. So first, my question would be to sir, is that a good proxy, number one? Or can he just use the VIX filter that we provide in the backtest, where you can see the results based on, say, VIX from 10 to 15, rather than doing uh, a year, doing it for the years 17 and 18, because maybe those times the market microstructure was quite different. And the second question is, why isn't this working? I guess, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, Chinta, I think the VIX filter is a better idea because, in a way, you just have one filter rule. And what is the other part of the question?
Why was it working
Why
earlier
is
and
it?
now
So,
it's
I
not
mean,
working?
so probably when something becomes too common, it may lose its usefulness for a while, right? And you don't know, it could start back again at some point. So that's where I think the portfolio feature or portfolio backtest kind of helps, where you can run a basket of strategies where if relying on just one or two strategies of these kind, you might have a longer waiting period when that is not working, right? But it's okay to have one or two, but then you might have to wait out long, or you run when it's in drawdown, or you run a basket.
Got it. Sir, we'll take two more questions. One is from OXBE. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so one question I had was regarding the stop loss for the strategies. Like if we are using a fixed stop loss of, let's say, a fixed what do you say, percentage in both the legs of a straddle or maybe strangle. So what happens is that I've noticed in some cases where there is a premium imbalance for the straddles, the if we hit the one leg, the 25% of one leg is maybe the amount of the number of points it covers is more than the other leg. So how can we handle that efficiently? Like what is the optimal way of doing
Sorry
that?
to cut, Chintan. I'll have to just buzz
Okay.
on. Yeah? Can I?
Okay.
Hope I have another.
Uh,
Thanks,
no,
guys. Yeah,
no worries, sir.
yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I was trying to rush it as well.
You
Sorry.
can just take it. I'll drop off. That's okay. Cool.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, Rajinder, you can also ask your question. I think Vivek sir won't be there, but I'll try to answer as best of my abilities.
Okay. No, I wanted to check with Vivek sir that he teaches algo trading at NSC. So
Yes.
how we can participate in this at NSC?
So, you mean participate in his course?
Yes, yes. I mean, he's teaching algo
Yes,
trading
I
at
know. I know that.
NSC,
I know
BSc.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. So, why don't you do this one thing? Why don't you DM us? I'll relay your question to him, and whatever the procedure and all that is, I'll reply back to you.
Okay. And is there any list where I can like check the registered SEBI or algo trading who are teaching algo trading at NSC? Is there any?
So, I won't be the right
Okay,
person
okay, okay,
to answer that question.
okay, okay.
But, what I'll say is just DM us your question in detail, and I'll ask them on and reply back to you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thanks. Because I was very curious because I've never seen
Okay.
anyone who is teaching algo trading at NSC. Strategies at
Yeah.
NSC. Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Rajinder. Thanks everyone for coming. Sorry, sir had to leave in a bit of a rush. We are grateful that you could join us for this, and thank you, sir, for uh, sharing his wealth of experience and how his journey has been over these past, I would say, 20 years. Uh, Thanks, everyone, and we hope to see you again in another exciting spaces like this one. Thank you for joining.